All right, guys, it is TexAgs Rewind. David Nuno, Billy Lucci. Billy is perhaps the best I've ever seen multitask. You do so many things. You get credit cards ready during the show. You have sources. You do a lot, man. Except this show right now. Except for that, you do a lot. What's going on?
Nuno, listen, here's one thing. I'll just start over.
No, these are better.
I don't even care. At this point, look, they're bothering me to go eat lunch.
We're doing a thing called TexAgs Rewind.
You see how restless they get? Come in. Come on,
say hi.
join us. Let Seth panic while we hang out for, it takes 2 minutes, Steve.
Yeah. We're just doing TexAgs Rewind.
It's the Rewind.
It's our YouTube show. You ever been on it? No. All right, this is going to be great.
I get stressed about this time on a Friday because I want my work week to be over until Sunday.
Hey, you know what? It's not. We're just getting started.
I know.
So on the show, we had Bank on it, which was great. I'm banking on another interception by A&M. They've done it in 4 straight. I think it'll be 5 straight. You gave us your thoughts heading into the weekend. Alyssa
What do you mean they've done it in 4 straight? Who made the interception for Peavy. I was thinking that was a fumble.
Yeah.
Good point.
Peavy, thank you
Was
very
that
much.
really an interception?
Yeah.
I thought it was a fumble too.
Yeah, he got hit. The ball was in the air.
It was coming forward. Okay.
Yeah, so, okay.
Wow,
so
that's
hopefully
crazy.
5 straight games, okay? We also had Alyssa Lang from the SEC Network on the show. These guys picked their games here on TexAgs Rewind.
Steve, tell us why a hot dog is not a sandwich. I was fat. This was a very good point.
I mean, in my mind, it can't
And
be
this
a
is,
sandwich.
by the way, he owns McDonald's, so
Right.
they don't sell hot dogs, but they
well,
do.
if the meat is visible from the top, then it's not sandwiched. That's the way I look at it.
This is a wonderful point. That actually, we may have to put that on Twitter. It is TexAgs Rewind. Then what are we banking on?
Well, you know what? I'm banking on. I've gone to the bank and wrote the same check so many times I'm overdrawn, but I'm going to keep doing it until it happens. I am banking on Damon Demas finally catching a long pass and scoring his first touchdown. I know we're not. You probably shouldn't go in on Demas,
Right.
because he hadn't played. He still hadn't caught a pass. But my gosh,
You're banking on it, though.
Sooner or later, it has to happen. Sooner or later, and the last time I saw New Mexico, the backup quarterback was throwing all kinds of dimes and big plays. So I'm banking on it. I'm going to bank on it till it happens.
You know what I'm banking on? You don't, because I haven't told you yet. I'm banking on the Aggies will force an interception for the 5th consecutive game. I was looking through the notes, and obviously against Colorado, Jaden Peavy had his. Leon O'Neal against Kent State. Against North Carolina, Andre White. And then against Tennessee, Brian George. Okay? 4 straight games, they have forced an interception. Not just a turnover, an interception. I'm going to bank on the Aggies defense getting a 5th straight game with an interception. And it's not going to be Jalen Jones because they don't throw to him, but it might be Leon again.
I hope so. And that'd be a good bet because, again, he's a playmaker. And does anything change momentum more than an interception?
No. It just takes the air out of the team who throws it and then the excitement level. I'm going to go back to the Kent State game. Obviously, it was a pick 6, but how that felt. The Colorado game, how that felt after Peavy's pick. It just felt like, all right, here we go. Unfortunately, they weren't able to go, but that's what it felt like.
Well, usually it either denies the opponent a scoring opportunity or enhances your scoring opportunity. So, and against Kent State, Leon did both.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did.
Had that one in the end zone, then the pick 6.
Yeah, he did. Look, the defense can do it, and I really feel, and everything works together. I think we saw better play for the linebackers last week.
Mm-hmm.
More of that, more pass rush. Hopefully Miles Jones is back out there for the DBs. Could be.
Well, the pass rush came on last week.
Absolutely, especially in the second half.
I love some of the schemes they have. There was one with the way they rushed it, and Antonio Johnson, I think, they actually created a lane for him. I think he might have just batted the ball down. But that quarterback looked up and was like, oh, my gosh.
So how many points did the Aggies give up this weekend?
7.
7 or 10 in that range, yeah?
Probably closer to 7.
Yeah. How many points did they score?
I think they're going to score in the high 40s.
I have them scoring 42 is what I have.
Okay. 45.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'd really like?
What?
60-3.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like.
Put an extra digit.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do that to New Mexico. They've never done anything to make you mad, but
Doesn't matter. Just
but
play angry, baby.
Go out and try to make a huge statement. Like Missouri back in '93. I think that was like 70-3.
Yeah. I have not gone to a game at Kyle Field at 11 a.m. I think since my college days. It's been a while. It'll be fun.
That'll be 10 a.m. for the New Mexico player's body clock.
That's right. It does pay. It does make a difference. OB, thank you so much
Bet.
for a great. To me, Billy, it all starts with the offensive line. If the offensive line gives Zach time, everything works together because you can establish the run, and he's going to have now time to make the plays he wants to make, confidence, and also we won't have to rely on him throwing so much.
I 100% agree with you on that. And I think that's absolutely the key to whether or not they win this game. Win the first couple of SEC games with Zach and his first couple of SEC starts. And so, yeah, I think the O-line is key to because also it's not just about giving him time to throw and settle down and not take shots and stuff. It also has to do with them better establishing that running game. And that's what teams are scared of. And that's the way A&M can wear teams down. And that's how things start to come easier as those DBs start taking a pounding, trying to tackle Isaiah Spiller. They tire out chasing Devon A-Chain down on one play. They don't know what's coming out of the two-back, and they get leaned on by these big physical offensive linemen, and those guys start feeling confident. And then you're asking the defense to rush the passer. And they're a little more tired, and they're a step slower, and the O-line's more confident, and you're in 2nd and 4, and you don't know, you're not expecting the pass, so your ears aren't pinned back. So all of that, I think it all stems off the running game. But here's the irony to that, and Steve and I talked about this yesterday. Does A&M have to throw to set up the run? And it's weird because
It's the opposite way of thinking.
And it might be because you might have to, like what Colorado did, and just kind of daring you to throw with numbers. And you might have to take it and succeed to force them to back off of you a little bit. That's why I wouldn't be surprised to see A&M throw it a lot this week, just to put it out there. Because Calzada can throw, and he can throw the deep ball, and he can throw, if he gets going, he can throw that vertical. We've seen it. He's big league arm. You even saw some of those throws against Colorado. If he can get that going, then teams have to kind of go, man, is it wise to sit up here and dare them to run? Is it wise to be kind of stuck in one-on-one? But
bury them for that. You're gonna put 8 in the box. All right, here we go.
Yeah, but you have to do it first,
Right.
and I don't think in one game it's going to make Barry Odom scared at Arkansas or even Mississippi State. They got some tough tests coming up, David. They really do. Mississippi State's D-line is strong, and they play like Colorado. They try to blow everything up. That's why it wasn't a good matchup for A&M. They just try to blow everything up, and you got guys that aren't real sure what they're doing, so things get blown up. So in a couple weeks, you better be ready for Mississippi State. Arkansas, you got Kenyon out there as a new tackle. They're going to set a guy out very, very wide, make him make a really deep pass set that he's not used to do. There are a lot of things that teams are going to come after A&M on, and if the receivers aren't getting open and getting separation, then Calzada has to make perfect throws, and he has to decide to throw a pass. If I'm from me to you, that's an easy decision. If you're sitting right here and blanketing me, and I look at the next guy and he's blanketed, and I look at the next guy and he didn't get off the line. So I think they've got issues offensively right now, but they're not ones that aren't fixable. The O-line is going to get better. We knew this. We should have expected it. We talked about it all summer. It was the number one concern. And if they look like this in games 7 and 8, then I would say something's wrong. Nothing's wrong that they look like that after second game. After their first game against a veteran Power 5 defense, there's nothing wrong with the fact that they struggle. You would rather them not, but to say that was completely unexpected and out of left field, or that there's some major issue, I think is completely getting ahead of yourself and off base. 6, 7, 8 games in, then yeah, you should see noticeable improvement. But I've said all along, if they could start off solid and by the second half of the year they can be good. So let's see how they do in these first couple of conference games before we rush to judgment. Quarterback, you had a guy last week against Kent State that never had played a college football game, and he looked really good at times, and he threw 3 picks. and you got a guy this Saturday that came off the bench who has never played a college football game and came off the bench on the road in a defensive slugfest. It's too early to even know anything about either of them, much less Calzada. So the one thing that concerns me that I can't just say, okay, we shouldn't. I mean, that's that, is wide receiver and not seeing a bunch of real estate and guys figuring out how to get open. And I for 2 games now, you haven't seen a whole lot of it.
All right. Is that a personnel issue? Is that a route running issue? Is it maybe the timing with the quarterback? Because that does play a part in how those guys get open, having that chemistry with timing.
And when you say route running and you've got veteran guys, and you also factor in, like, what are they being taught to do? So it's everything. I think it's a little bit of everything.
Everything.
And so, but I think you'll see other guys playing. Look, it's hard because they have to outperform the guys in practice. And Chase Lane has got it done on the field over the course of a whole season. Caleb Chapman has got it done in a few games, and then he's been hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hurt a lot. And obviously Anias is kind of the alpha there. He's the go-to. He's the proven guy, one of the better slot receivers in the SEC, if not the country. But you got Demas. You've got Yul Keith Brown. You've got Moose Muhammad. You got Devin Price, a veteran like a Jalen Preston. You just named 5 guys, and I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, but you just named 5 right off the rip that have flashed it. But the problem is they have to outperform those guys in practice. But then at the same time, you also have to go, when are we going to at least get a chance to find out who's the gamer? Is one of them a gamer more so than practice? I mean, you can't stink at practice. For tomorrow, Kyle Field should be, I don't know if it'd be 100,000, but close to it. Little morning SEC football with the Aggies and Lobos.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've gotten to talk to a couple of players throughout the week, just in game prep and getting ready for this matchup. And every single one of them I've asked, I always am straight up, hey, I've never been here before. What should I expect? And I think every single one of them said, oh, give it about 10 minutes and you'll probably want to scream right there with the fans. So I actually talked to Peavy yesterday, and he said, it's such a experience to get used to. And I said, do you ever feel bad for opposing offenses? And they were all kind of like, for a split second. And then you're like, yeah, no, this is the 12th man. This is why we came to play here. So I'm very much looking forward to it because, as you said, Peter and Cole and everyone else who I know personally who's come through here and gotten to do games here, they all talk about the atmosphere, but they all say you can't really describe it until you're actually in the stadium and you're standing there and the Aggies are running into the end zone and 12th man is literally losing their mind. So I hope that I can't hear anything by the time I wake up on Sunday morning. I hope it's that loud on Saturday afternoon for sure.
Alyssa, from talking to the players, and I'm sure, Jimbo and the coaches, what's been your early lead into the game takeaway on Zach Calzada and how everyone's feeling about the quarterback making his first career start tomorrow?
Yeah, so we have coaches meetings later this afternoon. I'm hoping to get a good idea of how Jimbo and everybody feels about Zach coming out there. But as I said, I talked to a couple of players this week, and that was one of my first questions, right? What's the biggest difference when Haynes King is under center versus Calzada? And the answer was really always the same. We know Haynes is a great runner and he can take off, maybe even one of the fastest guys on the team from what I'm gathering. But they're very confident in Zach's arm. It's a challenge for a backup quarterback to get thrown in the way he did last week, knowing that they don't take a lot of reps with the ones throughout the week. He hasn't gotten those reps really since they were back in that quarterback battle. So all those guys seemed pretty confident that throughout this week now, with Calzada being back there with the starters, really falling into that starting role, that his mentality has changed, right? All these guys said that when they came out to practice on Monday, that Zach just felt different, that his mentality has just shifted. And I think you always talk about being the backup and preparing as the starter, right? But there's always that mental switch that flips when you do actually get that nod to trot out there as a starting quarterback. So They said he's been vocal as far as being a leader, knowing that he's the starting quarterback of this football team for at least the foreseeable future, next couple of weeks, however long it takes for Haynes King to be able to recover. But these guys are saying he's a gamer, and they're saying that he's mentally there and he's mentally tough and he's ready to lead this football team. So that's the thing that I'm most looking forward to is how can A&M start? Can they start fast? Because we all know Calzada came in last week. It was a little rough at first, and it got better as the game went on, but certainly, not that this is a get-right game for A&M because they're 2-0 so far, but in a way it's a get-right game for me, for Calzada. Let's get this offense right. Let's make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do so that next week we're taking as much confidence into that week 4 matchup as possible.
2-0 New Mexico visiting number 5 Texas A&M, 11 a.m. kickoff at Kyle Field on the SEC Network. Gentlemen, the A&M is favored by 28.5. We'll start off with Steve.
I mean, I'm gonna pick A&M to cover. I mean, I don't see them scoring more than 10 points, and I feel like we're going to be in the 40s. So I got to go with the cover on this one.
Seth?
That's my assessment. I think that Calzada will have a pretty good game, and I think A-Chain will go out and just have a ridiculous game. So we'll easily cover.
Billy?
I don't think that you'll easily cover this one. I'm actually going to go with New Mexico covering slightly, just like I did with Kent State. I think it's a 4-touchdown A&M win. I think
Which you were wrong about.
I know. I was wrong.
Barely.
Because, yeah.
Barely
sure,
wrong.
I had 2 chances in the last 5 minutes, but I think a slight – I haven't picked A&M to cover yet. I think the spreads have been they're too big. They're going off of like last year's A&M versus that this team should just be playing a lot better football as we go on, and I don't think they're there yet. I think they win comfortably, but I don't think they get – I think it's under 4 score. I think it's 4 scores and not 5, and that's what they're saying. It's going to be 5 scores.
Abraham Lincoln.
I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds each to close up as we got about a minute left on the show. Any
that would
parting
only be
shots?
30 seconds.
Parting shot.
Then I give me 30.
Calzada's going to have a good game. He's going to throw 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I like that. I think the offensive line is going to look a lot cleaner and crisper and get some good movement. I think we'll run the ball in the middle better than we did last week for sure.
I think the defense forces 3 turnovers. Agree with actually both of you guys. I think the offense gets it going. I actually think they have more success than people are expecting through the air this week. I think A&M slings it around a little bit.
I'd love to see it.
That's it?
We'll do a close now.
Okay. Let's do a close.
All right.
Can we do a close now?
We're going to close down. You want to use this part on the show?
Yeah, well, this is the close.
This is the close.
This is
Hey,
this is the close. It's like this is the lunch. No, it's not a lunch. It's a soup. No, this is the lunch.
do you think he knows what to do after you watch the show? What are the chances he knows what to do? What do you do after a YouTube video?
Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
it, subscribe.
Like,
See, I
subscribe,
never do that.
and share.
Like,
Ring the bell or whatever they say.
Do you ever comment on YouTube videos?
no,
Ever?
Ever.
I've
Never.
never done it
Never.
either. But if you're watching, please do it.
Please do.
Yeah, thank you.